Oh shit. Oh, fucking way, man. Tested 1, 2. Tested 1, 2. Tested 1, 2. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to witness the first ACA cycling race for the year 2021. And we have a number of cyclists that are getting their transponders on the bike so that they can record the times that they've crossed the line for each lap. So we're in the village of Sandy Ground, and they're going to be doing a number of laps based on the categories that they're in. So I'm just going to bring up that information so that I can mention it to you all. So the elite, they are supposed to be doing 12 laps. The juniors, they're going to be doing 10 laps. Masters are 8 laps. Cadets are 6 laps. Mimis are 4 laps. Benjamins are 3 laps. We have a ladies category and they're doing 2 laps. The novice are doing 4 laps. And we have the sport doing 2 laps. So I'm just going to go around and see if I can interview some of the cyclists. So we have 2 new cyclists here. We have Alan and we have Desron. Do you guys want to say anything for the fans today?
After the race over.
Desron, you want to say anything before or after the race? So there you have, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alan and Desron. Alan's a little bit shy. I guess he'll braven up after the race. Okay. So I'm just going to show you what exactly they're doing here at the table. So here we have Mr. Larry Stott, a future cyclist. So he's putting on a transponder on Avery's bike. Avery, do you want to say anything to the audience today?
Pure trouble today. Pure trouble, Hazel.
So where you predict you're going to come?
I know my position. And that's after the last man.
Okay, so Avery's going to come in after the last man. We have the president, Sharon. Sharon, you want to say anything to the audience?
Oh, hi guys. Oh, am I using the mic? Oh, okay. Oh, I need to get this thing too. Hi everyone. Welcome to the first race of the season. We're happy to have you on our live. We are working on a new system this year, so we are running a little bit behind time, but we'll soon be up and running.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the president of the Cycling Association, Sharon Richardson. So here we have Mr. Junie Fleming. Mr. Fleming, do you have anything to say to the audience on AI Live?
Just here looking at see how the new transponder system is working. I'd like to see them get it all set up. We are running a little bit late, but it's all happened when you're doing something for the first time, so you're going to be up and running just now.
So the transponder system, like, what exactly is that? You want to tell me?
The transponder system is a timing system, and it helps us to monitor at least as they running around the lab, at the cross line, they are registered in the computer. In the past, we've had several groups running, and we lost track as to how much laps they have covered. Even on the sprint finish, you always wonder who passed the line first. But now with the transponder, you get an immediate response via your computer to record who passed the line first, who comes second, from the different categories. They are already recording the system to the automatic setting system.
So before, I believe you all used to hire you all have your
Correct, yeah. So before we had a company from Anguilla to come in just for the John T race, and the major race, like the John T race, what we had again, the OECS race. Yeah, we've been in for those 2 races. It costs us a lot of money. So right now, if you would say take the cost of 2 races to bring them in, cover the cost of transponder, the whole timing system. We finally got government to help us be able to purchase it. So, put it together and put it to use for the very first time.
Marjorie, thank you very much. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So the government of Anguilla was able to sponsor the Cycling Association their very own transponder system. So now instead of just having the times for the big races like the John T and the OECS, we can do it for every race now. And I think that's going to be a tremendous help for the athletes so that they will be able to register their times and know exactly how they're performing against their competitors. So I'm just going to walk around a bit to see who else would like to do an interview. We have Mr. Zavi. Zavi, you want to say anything or after the race? After the race, okay. So we'll talk to Zavi after the race. Hang on, no, check you. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have one of our elite athletes. This is Darren. Darren, what are your predictions for the day?
Well, today, it's going to be a nice little, I don't know what to call it ride, but I know it's going to be a nice ride, Looking forward for a wonderful event. This is a first season race. Delroy going to be there, Chicky going to be there for sure. Maybe we might have a little breakaway. Who knows? But interesting race for sure. Yeah, man.
Okay, Darren, thank you very much. Delroy, you want to say something?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, man. It's a good turnout today. To have a lot of cyclists coming out. I believe they still have most cyclists to be out. They have the strongman, Savido, and some other strong riders too. So they're gonna be a good event today, man. Hope the people come out and support. We have drinks on sale. I believe hopefully soon we should have at least some Johnny cakes too. So if anybody get hungry, go buy some food and drinks. Yeah. Strategy wise, I would say not to say survive, but feel out the race. Yeah, because I believe with the kind of guys that out, I believe I might not determine the pace of the race because there are a lot of strong guys out today. Yeah.
Okay, Delroy, thank you very much. So we'll walk around a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen. I must say it's a very nice day to have a race. The sun is out. The wind isn't too hard, so it's really good for the athletes. Should be quite a competitive race. But as I said, there are a number of different groups that are going to be taking part today. I'm not too sure if they're going to be staggering the start or if they're all going to start together. But I guess with the transponder system in place, it would definitely help to make things a little bit more organized and easier for the officials in terms of keeping track of how many laps and so on they would have done. So here we have a number of other cyclists. This is the veteran here, Mr. Timothy. Mr. Tim, do you want to have anything to say to the audience on AI Live?
Not much to say, I just wish we bye. Well, it's the first race of the season. I hope I'm continue doing races at least every other Sunday so I could get the guys and prepare for races abroad. Me personally, I don't know how fit I be, but I'll do the first race and then from there I'll make that. I wish all the cyclists them success and continue training and hope that cycling progress more than it used to be. Well, I'm a master plus master. They say 8 laps. Yeah.
Any strategy or you just go?
No, I just sit down and I can't do what I used to do before, so my aim is just to sit down and just ride my bike.
I guess Tim is saying he's getting a little bit old. He said he can't do what he used to do before, but I don't believe him. Delroy, anything you want to say after the race?
After the race, I'm going to take me. After coming in time.
Okay, so Delroy is going to talk to us after the race. Here we have Mr. Nicholas Carbon. Mr. Carbon, you have anything to say to the guys?
Well, I'm just here to have fun and enjoy the ride. Just here to have fun. I'll have to wait out after the race to see.
This gentleman here is a lot more talkative. I know him as Erickson, but he's Mikai. Mikai, okay. So let's interview Mikai.
Well, been training hard during the off season, so just come to see what I got. At the end of the day, just have fun. Yeah. Junior.
Which category are you in, Nicholas?
In the elite category.
And I believe you guys are supposed to have a school race coming up, am I right?
That's correct.
When is that race?
Next week. Next week, Monday, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so we can safely say whoever wins this race is going to win the school race.
You can say that.
Okay, Nicholas and Kai, thank you very much. So here we have two young cyclists up and coming. So we're just going to go back up to the tent just to get another view of what's going on. By the way, I'm trying to see if I can find a camera person to hold the camera while I drive and commentate. I should have my real commentator coming back out pretty soon, so I'm looking forward to that. Wish him a speedy recovery. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we have Mr. James. James, you want to say anything to the audience on your live?
Well, all I want to say is have fun watching us race and come on out, man.
So James is encouraging you guys to come out. People are starting to gather, but it would be good if we could get a lot more people to come out and support the athletes. As I said, it's a really nice day. They say they're going to have some Johnny cakes, some drinks. So, well-stocked bar. So you guys should try to come out and definitely show your support. So here we still have a couple of the athletes that are putting on the transponders. This is a veteran cyclist here, known as Gamble. Gamble, you're going to be racing today? In the Masters category? Okay, nice. What about you, Mr. Stott? Are you going to be racing today? Hold on a second.
Had a little incident yesterday. I had some wax things on my hand. So the guys gotta break this race. Mackie was scared already because last time I whooped him, but he didn't get a chance today.
So Larry is saying that this competitor's got a break today because he walked in a wasness and I guess they did a number on him. So if I can just explain exactly how the transponder works. This here is a sensor that they're putting on the bike, the yellow piece. So all of the athletes are going to get one of these on their bikes. And I guess they have to register them on the start finish line. And if you can see it, there's a gray tape with a wire running along. So every time they pass this gray tape, the start finish line, the transponder is going to register their time and it's going to register the number of laps that they would have done every time they pass. So in the past, you know, we used to do it manually. And it was always a bit of a challenge, you know, like sometimes, you know, some people would say they would have done 6 laps and in reality they may have done 7. Sometimes people end up writing extra laps. But with this system now, we'll know exactly how many laps you would have done. So there'll be no errors at all in doing that count. So just a reminder for traffic, just to be careful when you come down Sandy Ground Hill. There are a few signs on the road, but please be sure, you know, just to be very cautious on your way down to Sandy Ground because the guys are going to be doing laps. The start finish line is right next to the ball field, and they're going to be going anti-clockwise, basically around the pond, past John O's and back up to the start finish line. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please come out, show your support. Well-stocked bar, lots of fun, lots of music. come on out and enjoy yourself. So for now, I'm just going to take a break. I'll send it back to the studio and I'll be back with you guys shortly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please accept my apologies, but I forgot to mention the sponsorship that Flow is giving. So without this would not have been possible without Flow. Flow, just would like to say thanks to Flow for sponsoring the data for this event. I believe they're going to be soon getting ready to start. They're just sorting out a few little issues with the transponder system. As I said, it's kind of new, so a few little technical faults just to work out. I'd like to also say thanks to George from Antigua. Not George, one sec, let me just get the name correct. Thank you to him. He would have assisted the association yesterday in setting up the system, the transponder system. Okay, so it looks like they're getting ready to sing the national anthem. So I'm just going to remain quiet so you guys can hear what's going on. In the meantime, still encouraging persons to come on down. Lots of food, lots of drinks. We'll have some music and lots of fun. And you get to see the athletes performing around the loop. And again, for all drivers that are coming into Santa Ground, please be cautious. The cyclists are going to be doing the loop starting at the ball field, right around the pond, past Jono's, and back to the start finish line. So please be careful coming down the hill in Santa Ground. Look out for the cyclists as you maneuver your way through Santa Ground. Alright, so they're just trying to gather the athletes to come around so that they can start with the national song and the prayer. Yo. But yeah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are. You just gotta aim that straight. We are getting ready to start. So as you can see, we have quite a mix of athletes today. We have a few novice, we have a few sport. The only category I don't think is being represented are the ladies. But I know there are quite a few female cyclists that I see on the roads in the morning, so hopefully next race we'd have at least 1 or 2 representatives. Up to you. So we're back, ladies and gentlemen. So the race is about to start. We just had a change of vehicles so we could get you guys a better view. Hopefully the wind shouldn't be too much of a factor. They're just announcing the laps. Once again, I'm asking for all motorists just to be cautious as you drive through sandy ground. And the race has started. So it looks like they started with all athletes except the sport. I guess they're going to start after. So bringing up the rear, we have Gamble and Avery. Avery did say he was going to come in just before last place, so it looks like he has taken up his position early. And Gamble is fighting to try to catch him. So we're going around the well at this point. Gamble is look like he's a little bit cautious around the corners, so he's losing a little bit more time on the athletes up front. Let's say they have about 50 meters on him now. And here we have Gamble getting all of the highlight because he's in last place. But at some point we're going to try to get up to the athletes further ahead so you guys can see all the action up front. Okay, look like Gamble is going to close in on Avery. And the rest of the athletes have gone ahead. Okay, looks like Darren is hitting a shot out front. Darren has the group strung out. Everybody's clamoring, trying to hold on. I don't see these two guys catching them again. They're probably going to end up getting lapped at some point. So Gamble is closing the gap on Avery, but the other cyclists are not to be seen. The young man in blue, that's Hector. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong, but he started really late. So Alright, so we're back with the main pack. And we have, I'm seeing Kylan, I'm seeing James in the red, black. Nicholas is just ahead, James in all black, blue socks. But doing the groundwork looks like Delroy. Yeah, Delroy is doing all the groundwork at this point. And right behind him is McCoy, followed by Chicky. Trying to see what position Darren is in. Timothy is still with the group. And as Timothy said, he's actually riding masters, but he's up right up front with the elites. Okay, I am seeing Darren in the red, white shirt, the black. Okay, Chicky is up front leading the pack right now. Again, most of the guys are still together. Nobody hasn't hit any hard attacks as yet. But I suspect maybe on the third lap, you know, after the guys start to get a little warm, somebody's going to try to get away from the pack. Make the race very interesting. So the course is a relatively flat course. So it should be pretty easy on the legs. The wind is a little bit hard. They're just going past. Lounge. Again, everybody is still together. They maneuver their way through the ditches and the bumps on the run. Once again, I'm just asking all motorists just to be cautious on the way to Sunny Road because the race has started. So please be careful. You don't want any accidents. And again, I would just like to thank Flo for the sponsorship of the data, so we can bring this live for you on AI Live. Okay, so Darren has hit an attack. Darren has gotten away from the group. Let's see if anybody can pull him back. Chicky is trying to pull him back. And everybody else is just sitting in, trying to shelter as much as they could. This would probably be one of the hardest parts of the course because the wind is very high. So whoever is out front has to really do a lot of work. So right now we have Chicky. And Chicky is trying to pull him back in. Zavi just went up front, so Zavi is now doing the groundwork for the pack behind, trying to close back in Darren. But Darren seems to be holding his own. But I believe if the guys work together, they should be able to pull him back in. So we had Chicky before, and now Zavi is now taking a turn to the front, trying to pull everybody in. Everybody else is just sitting back, trying to get an easy ride. I think the gap is slowly growing. I would say he has maybe about 50 more meters, and Darren is up off his bike trying to extend that lane. Trying to extend that lane, pushing and forcing himself. You could imagine his legs has to be burning him right now. But he's really trying hard to get away from the group. We we have Delroy, so we have Chicky back up in front again, trying to close back in that gap. Very strong rider. They're not letting Darren out of their sight. He has about 50 meters. It seems to be steady, but I believe they should be able to close him back in if they work together. Timothy is still holding on to these guys. As I said, Timothy is a master cyclist, much older than the others, but a very good cyclist in his day and still can do it, obviously. So Xavi is now taking a turn. So it looks like Xavi and Chicky are doing most of the work. I'm seeing Delroy in second place. Let's see if Delroy is going to give them a hand once Xavi pulls on the side. Kylan is still hanging in there. James is still hanging in there. Nicholas is still in there. And Mikhailon is still in there. Mikai, sorry. I'm seeing one cyclist from Eastern. I believe that's Josh Nephew. I don't remember his name right now. What's Josh Nephew's name? Okay. Jashim. Well, I know Jashim is Johnson, but I'm not seeing him out today. I'm not sure whether he's training or not. I don't really see him on the road like that. But his nephew is the one there in the orange, right to the back. He's also a really good cyclist. It looks like he's riding for Team Anglick. And here they go again. Darren is still trying to get away from the group. And now we have Chicky out front. I'm not seeing Delroy doing any work, so I'm wondering if Delroy and Darren are working together. Because Delroy isn't really going out front to help them. It's mostly Xavi and Chicky that are doing all the work in the back group. Just passing Jono's. As I said, a really beautiful day for cycling. It's just that when the guys have to go back around to the start finish line, the wind is a little bit hard, so it's a little bit of pressure. And I believe that's where Darren is going to try to hit the group again so that he can gain some more distance. Holding steady. I'll say he has about maybe 75 meters on the group now. But the guys are still keeping him in check. Still keeping him in check. And they look like they're starting to close him in. Remember, he's out there alone. He has to do all the work to fight against the wind all by himself. Whereas we have Xavi and Delroy basically taking turns to the front of the other group. So they're getting to rest their legs while the other one does the work. They work really good. And all the other cyclists behind have benefited because they didn't have to do any work, but they were able to hold on and draft behind them so that they could gain back their ground on Darren. And it looks like they are going to catch Darren. So everybody is back together right now. haven't been keeping track of the laps. How many laps this is so far? Okay, so this is the third lap they're going around with the lead group. I believe they are going to eventually end up lapping Avery and Gamble because they're pretty far behind. Alright, so I've gotten a complaint that the wind is really hard, so what I'm going to do, okay, so hopefully this should be a little bit better. So right now it looks like Timothy have gotten dropped. Timothy has just let go of the group. So I guess the pressure got the better of him at some point. But as I said, he's riding in the Master, so he's way ahead of all the other cyclists in his category. So he's doing pretty okay still, but he wasn't able to hold on to the other cyclists. So there he is now putting some water on his head. Putting some water on his head. The sun is a bit hot, so you know he has to make sure that he stays hydrated. So I believe that's going to be it for Timothy in terms of holding on to the elite cyclists. But he has done a really good job. He held on to them for 2 laps, and on the 3rd lap he had enough, so he's just going to ride his pace until the end of the race. I believe he should have about 5 more laps to go. I believe he's doing 8, the others are going to do 12. So he himself may also get lapped before the end of his race, but he's in the front in his category, so he's doing pretty okay. So once again, I'm just asking all motorists, please be cautious as you navigate your way around sandy ground. The race has started, and please come out and support the cyclists. It's a really, really good day. They're going to be having some food, drinks, and I believe some music at some point. So come on out and enjoy yourself. Let the guys perform for you and show you a good show. So we're a little bit behind the other group. We're still behind Timothy, but we're going to try to get past him once we get ahead. Once we get ahead to on the straight to the start finish line. But we just want to be cautious around here because there are quite a few bumps and ditches, so you have to make sure that the cyclists are safe. You guys can let me know if the audio is a little bit better. You can put your comment. We do have an option where we can, so feel free to make your comments so that you can see them, so everybody can see your comments online. So now we're going around the corner, heading back, trying to close in on the cyclists. Okay, it looks like Josh Nephew has gotten dropped. Yeah, so I think that's it for him. He had enough news so that he can finish his race, but he wasn't able to hold on to the rest of the group. So he had to let go due to, I guess, the pressure. As I said, I'm not too sure how much those guys have been training, so his condition may not be there as yet, but the season is still early, so he still has some time to do some training, you know, so that he can perform a little bit better in some other races. And it's always good to come out to race, because even if you don't do well, it can always, you know, form part of your training. And there's no better training than racing, because you can't simulate a race, even if you try, you know, when you're training. So here we are now. The other group, I'm finally seeing Delroy to the front, doing all the groundwork. Again, this is the toughest part of the course because the wind is quite hard, and to face the wind is much harder than, you know, drafting behind somebody. So we're gonna see if I'm seeing James out front. Let's see if James is gonna try hit an attack. James has been cycling really well. I think he would have did his first event in the last year high school bicycle race, and he did pretty well. But I've seen, you know, what the guys have been doing in the morning when they come out with us. I would say he's definitely one that can win the race this year. So he's definitely one to keep an eye out for. And right now he's doing the groundwork, going around the well. We have Xavi. So Xavi is taking a little bit of a break. Now Xavi would have done quite a lot of work to close back in Darren. So Xavi is just in the back of the group chilling out right now, trying to recuperate, catch his legs. Xavi was another very talented cyclist. He stopped for a bit, but I'm happy to see him back out on his bike, training again, taking part in these events. And James again is out front doing all the groundwork at this point. In the yellow jersey, that's Kylan, Junie's son, another really good cyclist. And Mackay is just ahead of him. Mackay recently started cycling, but he has come a tremendous way in a very short space of time. I mean, he's keeping up with all these guys now, all of the other elites, and he's much younger than those guys. I believe he's maybe about 16, 17. Nicholas is, I believe, about 18. So he has quite a few years and already is doing really, really well. So I'd like to encourage him. I know his dad supports him really good. So I'd like to encourage them to continue supporting him, you know, encouraging him to do well in the sport. And here we have Avery. As I said, as I had predicted, Avery is getting lapped. Avery is getting lapped. I didn't see Gamble. I don't know if Gamble is ahead of him or if Gamble may have dropped out. But Avery is getting lapped now. And James looks like he's trying to sneak away. He's a little bit ahead of the pack. Nobody hasn't really closed him in as yet. But they have to be careful. Okay, so we do have Gamble and Avery together. So the race is going to be ding-dong between them. I believe they're in the Masters category. But Tim is still way ahead of them. Tim may even lap them before the race is finished. But we have James going out front. It looked like somebody else closed the gap to him, and then they're creating a gap with the other cyclists. I believe Darren is doing the groundwork in the back, but I know Darren trains very closely with James, so Darren is not going to pull the group back. So they have to be careful they don't let James go, because James is a really strong cyclist, and if they let him get too far, they may not be able to catch him again. And here we have Gamble trying to also put a gap on Avery. Avery looked like he is struggling a bit. Head down. But still clawing his way, trying to claw his way back. But Gamble looked like he's trying to put his foot down and trying to create a gap between them so that, you know, he doesn't come in last place. Avery is also a veteran cyclist. I've been cycling for a number of years. Probably one of the first to enter in the jaunty category. And he's still cycling today. Mostly for exercise and fun though. So here we are, still a small gap with James. I'm trying to see who's the cyclist directly behind him. I can't make him out from here. Oh, it's Luther's son. Okay. He was with him all the time. He was with the pack all the time. Okay, so great. So Luther's son was also with the pack. Another very young cyclist, but again, he's doing very well. I don't remember his name, but he's Luther's son. He's riding very well. And trying to see who's okay. Darren is in the back group. Look like Darren might be closing in the gap to James, but I'm a bit surprised he's actually doing that, or he might be just setting a false pace. So what they do, if you have a teammate up front, you have a teammate to the back, what they would do, they would go to the front of the group and pretend like they're pulling, but they would actually be trying to slow the pace down so that, you know, your partner would be able to get out front. So it looks like Darren was trying that, but Chicka got a win of it, and Chicka says no. Chicka is now going out front doing the groundwork to close back in James. So we still have Nicholas, Mackay, Kylan, Xavi making up the rear of the group. Again, Xavi is just chilling out to the back, but he might have some plans to do some damage later on. So this would be the 5th lap. So this will be the 5th. Again, these guys are doing 12 laps. Going around the wheel again. Alright, so Luda's son has come to the back. I believe he may have paid for the little effort he would have done in trying to close, but he's still struggling trying to hold on. Again, please be cautious. Be cautious on the way here. The sandy ground, if you're going to be driving, going to John's or coming down to join the race, please be very cautious. The cyclists are on the road and we don't want an accident, so please drive cautiously as you make your way down the sandy ground. Again, the loop is, they started on the by the ball field and they're making laps around the pond, across the John's and back to the start finish line. So here they're making our way back again past the lit lounge, the old pump house on the other side of the road, well, what used to be the pump house. And they're all still to get a very good race, by the way, very competitive race. Nobody hasn't really made an effort to try to get away except Darren at one point. James did try to sneak away, but the group quickly brought him back in. Okay, it looked like somebody, okay, Darren looked like he wants to make another effort. Oh, that's Chicky, sorry, that's Chicky. Chicky looked like he's trying to make an effort. Yeah, sorry guys, we're just going through the stretch here that has quite a few bumps and ditches, so we're losing a little bit of distance on the group. But we should be able to catch them on the straight back up. Okay, everybody's still together. I thought somebody, Chicken was trying to get away, but might have been a fake attack. So we have Delroy to the front, followed by what looks like Darren. Sorry, followed by Delroy, Darren, James, Xavi is Kylan, Luther's son, I have to get his name. He's in the green and black jersey and bib. And then we have Nicholas in the rear in the all black bib and jersey. By the way, the bib is the bottom, what you call the pants. And the jersey, obviously, that will be the top. So back around for the 6th lap. got Chicky out front, followed by Darren. Mekai is still there. Xavi is still there. Nicholas is still there. Kylan is still there. I believe I would have been still there if I was in a race. So most of these guys is a morning group. I would like to shout out those guys, fellas like Carlos, Andy, Vaughn, Greg, Paul. So quite a few of these guys that are racing here, they actually join us on a Friday morning. Have our competitive ride where they go from basically from Proctor to Sandy Hill and back. So we do have an idea as to who the top athletes are at this point based on that ride. Okay, look like Darren. Okay, somebody's getting away. Okay, Delroy is sneaking away, but Darren is bringing him back. Okay, look like something is going to happen here. So Delroy is going back up to, sorry, Darren has got caught up to Delroy. Let's see if they're going to work together and try to get away from the group. Chicky is in the back. I believe we're going to start to see some splits in the group now. And there we have, Nicholas look like he's popped. Nicholas has popped. Nicholas has popped. Alright, so that's the end of Nicholas here. Alright, so he looked like he had enough. Let's see what happens up front. Look like Luther's son is starting to pop as well. So I guess the pressure got a little bit too much for Nicholas, so he had to let go. Alright, apologies again, but we have to go through these rough seas, choppage seas, and we kind of lose the group, but we should be able to catch them back up on the straight. Okay, so here we are with the group again. So we still have young Mackay, young Lucasson. Darren is still there. Darren has come to the back of the group. Look like he's gonna try to get a bit of a break. And doing the groundwork to the front is Delroy. No, Chicky look like he's creating a bit of a gap. And there we have Xavi closing him back in. Caden. Okay, so Luther's son is Caden. Okay, look like he is popped. I don't know if he's finished his race or he's stopped. Okay, his race just finished. Did really, really well. Really, really well. Stayed with the group right up to the end of his race. And I believe he would be caddy. So this is the 7th lap now. 7 laps. So he would have done 6 laps. And right now the group is going on to the 7th. And again, they have 12 to do in total. So it'll be 4 more laps after this one. Again, nobody, quite a few of them are still together. So we've had Nicholas drop out. But Kylan is still there, Mackay is still there. Xavi is still there. Darren is there. Chicky is there and Delroy is there. Once again, thanks Flo for the sponsorship. Do it without them. And again, for all motorists, please be careful. And for all spectators, please come out and support the guys. It's all good to watch it online, but it's much more exciting in person. Come on out and support the guys, please. Lots of food, lots of drinks. Lots of action. Huh? Really competitive, exciting race so far. Quite a few of the pack is still together. And we have a mix of categories here. James is still there, I didn't mention him before. Alright, so we're going through the narrows in Santa Ground. Meaning very rough water, so we might lose the cyclist for a bit. So my apologies again. Some really rough waters down here. Okay, James looks like he's trying to sneak off. But Kylan is keeping him in check. Okay, Kylan and James look like they've created a bit of a gap. Okay, Kylan and James look like they're getting a gap on the rest of the group. Let's see if they're going to work together. Okay, I think that's going to be a bit short-lived. Chicky look like he's closing them back in. I would also consider Chicky a relatively young cyclist in terms of when he would have started. I believe he's probably cycling maybe about 3 years now, but has made a tremendous amount of gain in the short space of time that he was cycling. And probably next to Sani, he would probably be maybe in the top 3 in Anguilla right now. He would have gone to Cuba. Very seriously, and obviously you can see from his effort here that it's really paying off. Unfortunately, Hassan could not be here with us today. I believe he's away preparing for a race in Miami. I believe he's training with a team overseas. So unfortunate that he couldn't be here, but happy, you know, ambassador for Anguilla. So going around now, this is the 7th lap, 8th lap, okay. So I just got a correction, my apologies. So this is the 8th lap, for 4 more to go. I believe if anybody is going to do something soon, it has to do anything drastic, it has to be soon. Otherwise, I can foresee the race coming in for a sprint. And I believe the guys that are not the best at sprinting would want to make an effort sometime soon to try to get away from the rest of the group. So while the course is relatively flat, which makes it a little easier than having to go up and down a hill, the wind is a bit high, so going upwind is a bit of a challenge, especially for the guys that are out front. And as you can hear from my voice, the road is also quite bumpy. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to sit in the comfort of the front of the vehicle, so I'm crouching in the back, trying to get away from the wind. So my legs are starting to cramp a little bit, but I'll be fine. Huh? Yeah. So look like we're coming up on another group of riders that are getting lapped. This looks like the Masters group. I can see Avery. I can see Timothy. I believe Timothy would have lapped these guys. Okay, it's good to see that Josh Nevy is still in the race. He didn't drop out even though he lost contact with the front of the group, so he's going to make sure he put in his miles. And that's really important. I mean, you don't always do well, but it's always good to get, you know, that distance in your legs so that, you know, you can do better the next time around. I used to always hear Chris say, you know, you never drop out of a race, because when you drop out of one race, you're going to start to drop out of all. He said even if you're last, you try your best to finish, at least finish the race, you know, even if it takes you until midnight. So again, we're going through the rough seas and sand ground. We're going to lose contact with the group again. And here we have a few people that are out watching the race. Alright, so here we got lapped twice. Still hanging in there. And here we have the rest of the group. Now this was a bit of a bad thing for Avery, because what happened is that some of the other cyclists that were with him was able to hang on to this group, but he didn't have the legs to hold on. So if Gamble was with him and Gamble is still in here, then Gamble would have gotten away with this group too. So that was a bit of a disadvantage, but that happens on, you know, when you go on a closed course and you... Okay, we just saw that Gamble may have dropped out, so Avery isn't going to come last. So his prediction was right. He did say he would come second to last. So I believe he'll be happy at the end of the day. I'm not sure if they're going to be any prizes, but I guess bragging rights. So some of the other at least that we would not have seen before. We have Patrick, look like he's sprinting. Okay, look like this race is coming to an end. So Patrick is sprinting, look like Tim is ahead. Tim is ahead, Tim is sprinting, Patrick is right on his wheel, but Tim is getting away. So look like Tim is gonna win the Masters race. And Tim has won the Masters race. So it looks like it was very close. It's between Tim and okay, so just a correction. The cyclist in the orange in the back, which I was mentioning, is Josh Neville. He is Josh Neville, but his name is Kyle. So we still have Kyle in the race, and he's representing Team Anguilla. Okay, so it looks like the race was between Belly and Tim. I'm not too sure who would have won it, but as I get the information, I'll be sure to let you know. Okay, Tim, Patrick, and Belly came in for the sprint. Okay, look like somebody has gotten away from the group, but I'm not too sure who it is. So once I get a clearer view, I'll let you know, but look like the pace is starting to pick up. I was hearing Delroy and Darren may have gotten away from the group, but we'll find out in a bit as we maneuver around these corners. Yeah, somebody has gotten away. Looks like Darren again. It looks like Darren has created quite a big gap on the group actually. But let's see what happens as he passes up front. Okay, so we just passed Kyle. This cyclist in the back is Hector. I believe Hector may have gotten lapped though. I know he started quite late. Okay, so yes, Darren is trying to get away from the group again. Oh, Gamble is still in the race. Gamble is still in the race. But I guess he's behind Avery. So Avery is going to get his second to last place. But Darren, yes, Darren is trying to get away from the group. Darren has put on quite an attack here. And let's see if he can hold it this time. He did before, but Chicky and Xavier would have worked together to close him back in. I'm seeing Chicky on the opposite side of the road doing the groundwork. Look like Chicky is trying to get away. Alright, look like McCoy, yes, they loosed him off the back of the group, so I think the pressure has gotten to him. But he has done really, really well. As I said, he's much younger than quite a few of the other cyclists in the group he's riding with. And he has popped finally, but he has done really well. He would have actually held on longer than Nicholas, and Nicholas is an older cyclist. And as I said before, I believe the school race is coming up in about 2 weeks or a week. So this could be give an idea, you know, what's going to come in that race. Okay, so we're back with the cyclists again and again. Darren tried to get away, but Chicky closed him in. I'm seeing Delroy up front now, doing the groundwork. Curlin is holding on. Curlin is doing really well. James is also doing really well. And they don't work now. I believe this race is gonna come into a sprint. The win is just too hard to go out alone and do all the work on your own. So once you try to get away and the group behind, if there are at least 2 persons that are working together, it's more than likely they'll eventually close you in. So I suspect if they can't do it soon, this race is going to come into a sprint finish. Okay, Kylan looks like he's going to the front to do some work. Okay, look like Kylan has finished. Yeah, I believe they might have been doing 10. Yeah, so Kylan has finished his race. Two more laps. So I believe this is the 10th lap. So these guys are going to have 2 more laps to finish. So this would be the elite of the elites. So we have... Sorry, would be the 10th lap. This is the 11th lap? Okay. So this might be the 11th lap. Apologies, I haven't really been able to keep count. So if this is the 11th lap, they have 1 more to go around before they finish the race. So this is definitely going to be a sprint finish. So Chika is doing the groundwork now. Darren is taking a break behind Delroy. James behind Darren. And Zavi is bringing up the rear. I haven't seen Zavi doing any work to the front. Oh, he's been to the front, okay. No, I know he was to the front earlier, just didn't see him recently. But I just got corrected, I heard he has been doing some work to the front, so I just thought he may have been resting his legs to try to do something later in the race. So the guys got a really good day out, very sunny, not too hot, a little bit of a strong wind, but a good day for racing, making it very competitive. And it's the first race of the year, so quite a few of the guys are not gonna be, you know, to their fullest potential. But you know, taking part in these races will help you to get there at some point. Oh, you racing now?
Huh?
You got a race now?
He played football.
Oh, okay.
You don't jump out. Yeah, one more race tomorrow. The women and the lovers. James cannot go. James keep watching to see what they're doing. Just get up and go. By the time you realize them get up, he get up too late.
Yeah, back up. Okay. The GoPro like it's shutting down. No, it's still streaming, right? Yeah, leave it on. I can just I'll just see what happens. I'll monitor. Yeah.
It's live?
It was. It looked like it dropped a little bit. It's still live,
Because
yeah.
I had told my sister, she said she wasn't finding it.
Say that again. You're cutting up. Say it again. One more time. Okay, the mic was off. It's on. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I was doing commentary all the time, but the mic was off. Should be on now. So, as I was saying before, we have 2 female cyclists in the race, and they are supposed to be doing 2 laps. One is the person in the red jersey on the left, that's Jaritza. I am not too sure of the name of the other cyclist, but as I get that information, I'll be sure to share it with you. Right now, oh boy, wow, look at that child in the road. Wow, wow, wow. Keep him out of the road. Okay, let's see if we will be able to get past them, but they're taking up the entire road. Not really the best decision. It's always best to keep on your left, on the white line, just in case there's oncoming traffic. Okay, good. So we're gonna get past them now. All right, so let's see if we can get up front to the other cyclists, see what's happening. So as I said, this category will be the novice category. What we just passed were the 2 females in the female category. Here we're passing a cyclist, I believe he is in the sport category. He would have been riding against Larry Stott, but Larry said he got stung by some bees last night, so he wasn't able to race today. 2 other cyclists coming up. Let's see which category they would be in, but they got dropped from the group. So this looks like, oh come on guys. Okay, so that would be, I believe would be the mini category. I believe they're supposed to also be doing 2 laps. But we're heading up now to the novice. So in the back we have Dwayne, aka Smurf. High up we have Jason. I believe that's Jason Hodge. And I believe just ahead of him should be Malone. So those guys have gotten loose off of the main group. I guess, as I said, the wind is a little bit hard, so coming up on that main stretch is going to be a bit of a challenge. So that's where the legs are going to get tested the most. And you're seeing quite a few gaps building up now. And these guys have 4 laps in total to go. Recently, so I believe he may not have the condition he once would have had last year. But as I said, it's always good to make a start, because once you make that start, you'll start to get your condition back. And right now he's just drafting behind Jason, which would be a really good draft for him because Jason is a pretty tall guy. But they're going downwind right now, so it wouldn't really be much of a difference. But when they get on the other side of the pond and they start to go back east, that's when, you know, he's gonna benefit from that tremendously. So quite a few cyclists up ahead. Let's see if we might be able to get past some of them. I'm seeing the police car way in the distance, but I believe the lead cyclist is just turning the corner now. So some of the cyclists that are in the group that I am aware of, I know Desron is there, so I believe he should be probably in the lead pack. He's a pretty strong cyclist. Okay, and also Dimitri. Yeah, Dimitri is also up front, and I believe he will be riding in the mini or the caddy category. And then we have Malone up off of his bike trying to get away from Jason and Smurf. And he has a bit of a lead on them. Smurf looks like he's struggling just a little bit, but just trying to hang on. Okay, look like Jason is starting to also get a gap on him. I believe this might actually be Smurf. First race back, first bike ride back for the year. I haven't seen him out for the year, so this might actually be his first ride for the year. So it's understandable why he's not able to keep up with the pack. And there he is trying to hydrate himself, drinking some water. And he's smiling. He's getting all the highlights, but probably not in a way he would have wanted it to be, but these things happen. He's telling us to go. He's had enough. And there goes Smurf. Smurf, this is your first ride back for the year. Oh, shoes are beeping again. Look like it's not, so keep holding. Alright, so we're just heading up now. We're passing Malone. And Malone is doing really well. There's a gap on the group, but he's still trying to hang on. He has put in quite a big distance between himself and Jason, and he's grading away. I believe he may be coming into the end of his race. And here we have the main group now. So I'm seeing Zuri in red. Dimitri is in second place. I'm seeing, that looks like Alan Sylvester, bringing up the rear in the orange socks. And that's Desron there in front, representing Flo. And again, I would just like to big up Flo for the sponsorship of the data. Wouldn't be possible without him. And here we have Desron representing Flo very well, leading out the race. And I believe it's going to come down between him and Zuri. Apologies for the technical difficulties. It's just that we're using some GoPro cameras and they seem to be going off. I'm not sure if they're overheating, but hopefully we can get that issue resolved for the next race. So here we have Allendale. He definitely has dropped from the group now. And Zuri would have fallen earlier. You should have seen that, but he was able to get back on his bike, and I believe he would have gone past Allendale, and he might have closed in the... Okay, so I just heard he's back up with the group, so he's back up with the group with Desron and Dimitri. So we should have a pretty good finish between those two coming on to the end of the race. Both of those guys have been putting in quite a lot of time on the bike, so they should have some relatively good fitness amongst them, and I would say they're probably almost on the same level. So it should be a competitive finish. Alan, I'm a bit surprised that he didn't hold on to the group, but he seemed a little bit nervous in the race, so I mean before the race, so I'm not sure if the nerves may have gotten the better of him. But at least he's still completing his race. He's definitely not going to finish in the top 3, but he's still hanging on. So we're going to try to get around him as soon as we navigate through these rough waters, and so we can get to see the finish. Okay, Alan said he's warming down. Oh, you read? Okay. Alright, so I was just told he rode the sport category, so he would have done his 2 laps. So he's just basically warming down. But the novice would be Zuri and Desron. So Zuri would have made quite a big effort, after falling, to be able to catch back up the group. But he was able to do it, so hopefully he still has the legs to sprint with him coming on to the end if it comes down to a sprint. But up front we have Desron doing all the work. I'm not sure if that's going to affect him coming on to the end of the race, but for now he's the one that's taking the brunt of the win. And as I said, this is the hardest part of the leg, because this is all upwind from the corner around the pond right up to the ball field. So whoever is out front on this leg is basically doing a lot more work than the others that will be drafting behind him. So this would be, is this the last lap? This would be the last lap. So this should be the last lap. We have some oncoming traffic. Hopefully they keep the path clear so the cyclists can pass through. And yes, they did. This is very good. Okay, Desron look like he's trying to create a gap between himself and Zuri. He just put on a bit of an attack there. Dimitri is holding on, but Zuri is not letting him go. So Zuri was also able to claw his way back up to him. I think Desron should try to ease back a little bit at this point, just to force Zuri to do some work. Otherwise, he's going to be too tired coming on to the end of the race, and especially if they have to sprint. He would have used up most of his energy, whereas Zuri would just basically be drafting behind him, conserving energy, and therefore would have a better finish. But we'll see how it goes. Desron is a pretty strong cyclist, so he may be able to do all the work and still have a a good finish. Okay, so that's exactly what he did. He slowed down and he forced Zuri to go ahead of him. But Zuri still isn't doing any work though. Zuri is drafting behind Dimitri. Not the best draft because Dimitri is a much smaller cyclist, very young. But still some draft is better than none at all. And we're coming across a stretch. Jono's lit lounge. And then they'll be going into the wind as they bank the corner to head back to the start finish line. So here we have Dimitri now doing all the groundwork. I believe Dimitri would be in his own category though, but I believe all of them were doing the same amount of laps, so Dimitri is obviously going to win his race. And then the winner for the novice would be between Zuri and Desron. We have a vehicle to the front. Hopefully they pull on the side so that the cyclist can get ahead, and that's exactly what they did. So that there is a very good example of how a motorist should behave, you know, during a race, just to ensure that the cyclists remain safe. So I'm hoping that the camera stays up this time so we can see this finish. And my apologies if it doesn't. But it should be an exciting finish nonetheless. And we're just going around the corner on the stop sign to Roy's. And Dimitri is telling the guys to go ahead. He's drinking some water, soaking his legs, trying to stay hydrated. And let's see what happens here. So it's going to be a cat and mouse game now. Nobody's going to want to go out front to pull. Everything should be coming down to the sprint. So here we have cat and mouse between Zuri and Desron, and it's coming down to the sprint. Let's see what's going to happen here. I don't think Dimitri is going to be part of the sprint, but they seem to be content to just draft behind Dimitri. Desron is tapping his legs. I'm not sure if he's cramping or him up for the sprint. But something is happening there. And there goes Desron. Desron hits the attack. Zuri is trying to close him in. Desron hits the attack. Is Zuri going to be able to close? There goes Dimitri. Desron has gone. Desron has gone. Zuri is closing him in. Zuri is closing him in, but he will not be able to take the sprint. Desron is too strong. Wait, I'm wrong. Zuri is passing him. Zuri's on the outside. Zuri's on the outside, but looks like Desron won the race. So Desron won that race. Very good ride, very good sprint by Desron. And here we have Dimitri coming in, winning his category as well. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I guess after the fall he had to catch himself. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the last and final race for the opening race for the Anguilla Cycling Association. Thank you very much for viewing, and apologies for any technical difficulties, and we'll try to work on them so that we don't encounter them for the next event.